Hello there, and a very good afternoon. For the National, we are here at Expo 2020 Dubai. It is day 3. As you can see, I have found my way once again to the fantastic Pakistan pavilion. You might remember in my last video, I actually didn't know who the architect was, and we didn't find out in the process of touring the pavilion. So the pavilion staff actually got in touch with me, and guess who I've got with me? Here we go. Hello there, sir. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Rashid Rana. I'm a visual artist. I'm not an architect. And this is a very different kind of undertaking for me, I have to say. Building was already there, and the organizers approached me 2.5 years ago, and they wanted me to transform architecture into art. So this is supposed to be an artwork, actually. And that's how we have approached it.
I have to say, it certainly is a fantastic piece of artwork. It doesn't come across just as a normal building, doesn't it? So I'm going to keep you walking with me as we go in. It is another, I seem to only come to this pavilion when it's boiling hot. And the reflection of the light also means there's a certain amount of light reflected as well, heat reflected. So we're heading this way into some shade so that we can have a bit more of a chat, but within the shade. But look at that colour behind us now. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And so tell me a little bit more about your inspiration behind how you came up with this extraordinary piece of art.
Well, you have come to the land of diversity, Pakistan. That is one of the most diverse countries in the world, climatically, geographically, racially, ethnically. And I think this piece is supposed to be a celebration of that diversity. And if you look at all these 24,000 units, each component, they're seemingly identical, but they're all fractionally different. That's where the magic of this work perhaps lies, that they come into this dance of harmony primarily because of the fact that they are fractionally different in terms of color and size. They're all unique, but they all look seemingly identical. But it's basically a celebration of diversity through these colors, call them colors of Pakistan.
It's absolutely extraordinary to hear the ideas behind the design and to think, so with 28,000 different pieces.
24,000 and 35,000 square feet area. So this is a spectrum of colors that you see. And then the reflectivity and the printed area are built at some angle in such a way that you get a multiplicity of view from all the time. It changes color,
yes.
It changes your experience as a viewer if you walk around it, and then it gives the buildings this sense of breathing and perforation through this reflectivity. Otherwise, it's not a transparent building. It's a building supposed to be without any windows to serve this function of exhibition, you know. So without any windows, without any other such feature, the building wasn't breathing as such. So the idea was to, through reflectivity and printed image, create this complexity of view within the very simplicity. For example, in this portion that you're showing it to the audience, the colors sort of come together just like, I hope that you see the Claude Monet kind of cathedral coming of colors together, reflected into each other.
It's so beautiful. I mean, really, it is absolutely stunning. And
I'm very happy that it has worked out, the kind of positive response that we're getting. It's a very different experience for me. I mean, I have been very fortunate to be able to show my work at museums and galleries in various parts of the world and get some appreciation for that. But this is a different kind of response that I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's a new feeling for me, like a footballer or a cricket player, that when people feel that you're playing for them. So that's something new for me, and I'm totally enjoying that. I'm grateful to the people who have who giving positive response to this piece and bringing them here to be able to see the wonderful journey that has been curated inside.
Amazing. Well, you said the word inside. We're going to head on inside now. I can't pretend I'm not quite pleased to go inside because it is very hot. So we're coming in now. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Likewise.
And then we're making our way in now, and as you can see, it's this. Oh, I can see again. Goodbye. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
You might notice that the camera work is a little bit more haphazard today. That's because I'm actually doing it by hand. I don't have Suhail with me. But what we're doing now is just progressing through the pavilion because I understand I'm going to meet the lady who is actually responsible for designing the interior. Hello, how wonderful to
how
meet
are you? Great
I'm
to meet
very
you.
well indeed. I'm not going to stand too close to you because of course I'm not wearing masks.
Nor am I.
Nor are you, but this is for the sake of the interview, it's okay. And so I'll just check that you're in the centre of my frame. There we go. So please could you introduce yourself to our viewers?
My name is Noorjahan Bilgrami, and I'm the principal curator of the Inner Journey. And this is called the Hidden Treasures of Pakistan, the Hidden Treasure. So the whole idea is to reveal to the world and to many Pakistanis who are not really in Pakistan what Pakistan is all about, and the treasures that we have which have been tucked away for a long time. So that's again. And then regarding me, I'm an artist, studied textile, worked a lot in documenting all the traditional crafts, working with culture and education, and so that's that in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Come with me through up to this area because this was
This
one
is
of...
connected with this, which is a Quranic verse in our Quran, which says Surah Noor. And if you can see the translation, which talks about Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. The example of his light is like a niche, which is a lamp. So this is all to do with light. And so what I wanted to put across was the purity of our religion, which is misconception all around, and bring out the whole thing about light and its beauty. And light upon light is the inspiration for this whole journey that we're going to be doing. It started off with this Quranic verse, but that took me to the fabulous monument that we have of the Mughal period. The Lahore Fort has this beautiful building which is called the Sheesh Mahal, which means a mirrored palace. And taking inspiration from that, but using a very contemporary idiom, I've tried to sort of work with the traditional craftsmen in reviving this whole art industry of making concave mirrors. That craft had died down. And we found these old sort of workshops that were blowing these fabulous bottles and creating that into mirror. And you'll see why, what happens, because when you break it and we start working on that. You want me to start?
Amazing. We'll walk on through because this is part of the whole
And
effect
as you
of
can
it.
see this right here, that's how we've got the light.
Here we go. I'm going to make this go up.
Are you able to get that? Yes. So it's sort of
Slightly erratic camera work from me. I do apologise for it. That's stunning, that effect. I hadn't noticed that when I first
I
journey
stopped
in.
you here.
Yes.
Also, it's also a whole passage where all your senses are evoked. So if you actually take a deep breath, there's this fragrance of what we call motia, and it's a fragrance of motia. Can you smell that?
I really can. So it's
like
really
jasmine.
immersive. It's
Yes,
absolutely,
absolutely
gorgeous.
immersive.
Yeah.
So jasmine, you're surrounded by jasmine fragrance, and also the sound is very important. Can you hear that? So it's meant to be very meditative, and so not too much of talk, which I'm doing right now, but to show you that if you come here, I want you to see how you are coming into so many mirrors, and it's because the shape of the mirror is like that. So in the olden days, the whole ceiling was made of this. They would take one oil lamp, which was lit, and if they took it around, the whole place would be shimmering. So as you can see, multiplicity of images that are coming through. So we worked with master craftsmen, revived the whole craft, and really blew it out of scale, because those are really fine, and we've got this whole section of that. Plus, on the other side, in the fort, in the Sheesh Mahal, are these miniature frescoes painting, as you can see. And if you go close to it, it's absolutely fabulous detailing that is done.
Do you know,
You must have walked
I
past.
walked
that's why.
past. I didn't even notice you, and I didn't notice the scent. I didn't notice the sound. And because that's the thing. That's why you need to take the time with these pavilions.
Absolutely, you've got to take time, because it has been really laboured by miniature artists who kind of really blew into the scale of what is there right now, even at the fort, at the Sheesh Mahal. So it's just exquisite, and as you go forth, you'll probably see more of that. And as you can see, you're experiencing every step of yours is like, go slow. And there's another one. This miniature painting, as you can see.
Gosh, it really is fantastic. And I hadn't even noticed this effect. I mean, for the narcissist, it really is quite fabulous. Also, you look particularly nice in this light. There you go. But that's a really good selfie opportunity for any visitors who want to come along. And you know how you're always looking for the Instagram opportunities? I'm actually going to take a picture of that. There we go, let's get rid of that. There we go. Right, we're going to carry on up through this. I don't know how to get rid of that. So we'll just carry on. I've taken a photograph, it's going to be there forever.
As you start moving here, from here what happens is this is actually filmed what is there in Sheesh Mahal. So what you're seeing here at the moment, which is kind of raising up gradually, is an actual photography that had been filmed there by a videographer, Umar Riaz. And then this is projection mapping done so that you feel you're actually enclosed in that. To a point which is looking out of the floor into that whole, looking out through the lattice. You saw through the lattice how the light shimmered through. So that's... I hope you experienced it differently this time.
There clearly has been. I have completely experienced it differently. There must be I hadn't realised the level of thought that had gone into every single element of this design.
A lot of detailing, of detailing.
How many years were you?
It's been 3 years.
Really? How does it feel? I'm so sorry about the camera work. I'm not managing to put you centre frame. And how does it feel now?
Well, it's just, I'm still sort of overcoming this incredible feeling of seeing it in reality, which was just a pencil line and a thought and a concept, and to see how beautifully the public is responding to it.
Yes.
Because I think the main thing is how, when an artifact has that hold, that dialogue to take place. So in this room that we have here is the area of the landscape. It's the largest space that we have here. And so against the photography that we have, the Mohana boat, we have put 2 ancient cultures around here, which are still existing, but they go back a long, long time. So on the river Indus, you have, which comes from the mountains, we'll talk about it if there's time, on the Kalasha. But in the south is the Mohana community, which still exists, and they used to live on the boats, which was on the Indus River. So this exquisite carved boat, which has all been done by hand, and if this time, we've actually documented the whole process of starting from old archival photographs and getting everything done. So this is fantastic how it came about. And it was done after about 55 years that the artisans, if you quickly look into that, that's the image of from the people that were turned. It's a small scene. You see the garden. And again, this is the old archival photograph from which artists sat down and brought it all back into, as you can then see it. The next image will show you very beautifully.
Absolutely extraordinary. The sense of
these
tribes, these communities.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now I know that there's someone else who I need to meet as well. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for talking us through it. It was really, really wonderful to meet you. A pleasure. After I had so much fun coming before, it was lovely to meet you. So we're moving forward now to the third person who wanted to meet us. Here we go, sir. As you can tell, I'm getting used to doing my own camera work. Trying to keep people in the frame.
Sure.
It's surprisingly difficult. Here we go. So, sir, tell me, who are you and what's your role here?
Well, I'm Rizwan. I'm the pavilion director and the project director as well. So I've been associated with this project since the very beginning. And finally, we've done it.
It must be very exciting to see it finished and receiving visitors.
It was unbelievable. The first day was overwhelming. I mean, the response that we got, we could not close our doors. People kept coming in, and we had like around 8,000 people on the very first day, and that was awesome.
8,000 on the first day?
On the first day.
So we haven't had figures from Expo 2020 yet about how many people came in to Expo, so that's
not as yet, but 5 days before the opening, we had a test run. 20,000 people came to the Opportunity District on Monday. So 8,000 is not a big number for such a big space. It's a 4.5 square kilometers area.
It is a big area.
Yeah.
I mean, that is absolutely fascinating to hear that amazing facade is bringing, I mean, that's what's so clever about it, is that it's bringing in so many thousands of people, because you see that sort of pop of colour.
Yes.
And I mean, it's going to be an Instagram dream. You know how people like to take photographs of themselves nowadays. And so it is absolutely fabulous that it's drawing that many people in, and they're finding out all about Pakistan as a consequence. Right.
So in addition, I just have a message for the audience there that we have a wonderful program for 6 months of programming. Right now, the province of Balochistan has brought in their cultural toupees, and they're also doing a lot of business programming events. So all of you, both the families and the business people, are invited to Pakistan and our events. Please follow our website for our calendar, and you're most welcome to Pakistan.
There's a really good restaurant downstairs as well. So you can get fed as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be heading over to several of the other pavilions now, so make sure you keep us saved in your favourite spa, and we will be making a return very shortly. But for now, goodbye from the Pakistan Pavilion. It's been a pleasure reporting for you from the National.